Wait, was Yu-Gi-Oh based on a true story? Hear me out, y'all. If you don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh is, it's one of the greatest childhood shows. If you didn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid, you was a lame. It had all type of pharaohs, mages, Egyptian artifacts, hieroglyphs, petroglyphs. Great show. But now looking back as an adult, I have a lot of questions. So Kazuki Takahashi is the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! So Takahashi combined his love for drawing, games, and combined them. Before he became a global superstar, he traveled to Egypt. And I thought that was very interesting, guys. Because if you guys seen or heard of his shows before or after, or any of his animes or books, it's nothing like this. This is the best work he's ever done. So it's telling me that when he was in Egypt, he either learned a lot or something almost supernatural happened to him. Or maybe this was a divine message he had to receive and pass through a show. Like, this man has stone tablets and carvings on his show for kids. Was this really necessary for us, for kids? So Mr. Takahashi, during his extensive research in Egypt, he discovered many ancient games was originated from Egypt. And a lot of these games were tied into spiritual rituals, influencing the core concept of the show. The Millennium Items and the Pharaoh were the main plot of this storyline. So this ancient Pharaoh, when he was very young, he became Pharaoh. His name is Atem. The story is based around him trying to find out his name and learn his history. Because when he learns his name, the memory will come back. He will remember everything he's supposed to do, everything that has happened. He spends years of basically sharing the body of this little boy named Yugi that is from his line. I know, like his family lineage. And shout out to Takahashi for making the Pharaoh a little bit more melanated. I appreciate that. I mean, he did it to all of them back in Egypt, a little bit darker for all of them, but I really respect that they took that because I didn't notice it as a kid, but representation does matter, y'all. So long story long, y'all, when Atem learns his name, he will be able to fulfill the prophecy. But let's go all the way back. Let's go back at the beginning of time, well, the beginning of time in this timeline in this show. So this is the goddess that represents light. I think her name is Hortiki. I'm not good with the pronunciation of all of this, so please just bear with me. So here's her life form and her form as a dragon. Of course, with all light, they must come yin and yang, so of course there's dark. And here is Zork. Zork is the embodiment of darkness, evil, hatred, everything that she's not. And here's his dragon form, very serpent-like. All right, y'all, since my video is getting too long, come meet me in the second part. I'm probably gonna do a couple of these videos, so bear with me. I'm trying to put all the puzzle pieces together, but this story sounds too realistic to be just made up in a comic book or anime. I'm Cube of Lore. This is Forbidden Lore Season 2. And if you like content like this, cryptic, spiritual, supernatural, even paranormal, go ahead and follow me, because I know you didn't do that yet. And as always, this for entertainment purposes only. Allegedly and hypothetically speaking, I don't know. All right, y'all let me know what you think in the comment and meet me over to the next part. Because it's about to get weird, y'all. It is. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to part 2 on, was Yu-Gi-Oh based on a true story? I did a lot of research and just life research in general, and all of this is they're kind of all adding up. It makes sense. So where I left off was obviously yin and yang. This is the light, and Zork was the darkness. So Horiziti actually split into 3 dragon forms. Obelisk the Tormentor, Lord of Wings, Earth, and Fire. Slifer the Sky Dragon, Lord of the Heavens, and Thunder. Very much giving me Shango vibes. Then we have last, but not least, the Winged Dragon of Ra, Lord of Spirits and Mysticism. So the 3 of them to hundreds and thousands of dragons. The world was balanced. They didn't have any issues, they didn't have any problems. Then a humanoid race came that was able to do magic and manipulation of the natural forces and elements, of course. So one of the most powerful mages sealed 1,000 dragons in one night. And the elders and the deities was like, wait, what's going on? Who told you to play God? Nobody was able to do stuff like that and magic like that. So he was definitely a threat. And you know how they deal with threats. They sealed his ass too with these magical chains and behind a spellbinding circle. Not to mention, they split him up into 5 different tablets. That's why the representation of 5 different cards. Because he was the forbidden one. He was never allowed to be running rampant ever again, unless controlled by the pharaoh himself. So after they sealed Exodia, the secrets of the world was hidden. They were back good. They was like, no one knows how to seal creatures and entities no more. We good. They moved right back on in life. But you know, everything comes back around. Everything starts happening in reason. That's why we live in a cycle. Now at this point, the spirit world and its creatures are inaccessible based on this man or whatever he is. All the mages evolved into humans that can do magic, of course. So they decided in their grand old brain, Zork, and I told you guys about him earlier, the dark entity, the darkness itself, which extended a curse to all over Egypt. So now people's souls are divided into 2. Your Ba, the essence and power each human develops, and your Ka, an inner creature from the spirit world that feeds off the host's energy, emotions, just like some other creatures we know. So then the Egyptians started making creatures within themselves to use them as weapons. This practice led to the creation of mutants, people that are merged with their inner beast. Like merged completely, like you guys are one. You cannot be separated unless destroyed. All right, y'all, the video's getting too long. Follow me to part 3, because this is gonna get good. I'm Cube of Lore. This is Forbidden Lore Season 2. If you like content like this, don't forget to engage from the bottom up. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. And of course, follow me. And as always, it's only for entertainment purposes, guys. All right, I'm gonna call y'all back at part 3, because everything is starting to come together. All right, y'all, welcome to part 3 of Was Yu-Gi-Oh based on a true story? So where I left off, I told you guys Egypt was cursed. People were split, divided. There was darkness, there was light, there was Ba, there was Ka. People were creating inner beasts and creatures and feeding them and using them to battle and fight and weaponry, all type of shit, magic. It was crazy. If you didn't see all that, just go back and go watch. The videos are right before this one, but I'm gonna move on, y'all. Okay, guys, now we have, on top of the mages, we have these people with creatures inside of them. Some know it, some don't know it. Like this girl just happened to have one of the most powerful dragons in the series and the game in her body. And her name is Kasara. So at this point, the humans have a full-out war against Zork, because Zork done taught all his people's magic, dark magic, all type of things to keep them ahead of the game. So of course he sends them to attack Egypt and the current pharaoh, which is Atem's father, where the pharaoh at the time's brother suggests that they create the Millennium Items with the dark spell book they have. Oh, it's more forbidden magic. At this point, their back is against the corner. They don't know what to do. They're about to lose everything. So Egyptian troops set out to villages and other areas in Egypt to unalive men, women, and children. So y'all, as a kid, I missed all of this in the show. I didn't miss it. I'm obviously present, but my mind didn't like take all this in. This is very dark. You know, I don't know if this show was supposed to be for kids, but somehow they made it in for us. So hey. So guys, then they used the souls of the people they unalive, seal them in stone slabs, you know, those stone tablets I told you guys about, and then use them as a source to feed the Millennium Items. What did I even just say? Millennium Items. So that raw power made these 7 items. It was clearly a ritual sacrifice. We know this can't go good. It came with 7 artifacts, but you guys know, anytime you use dark magic, you're gonna have to pay the price. Let's start with the puzzle straight up. The puzzle grants luck and fulfilling your wishes. Whoever solves the puzzle will be granted unimaginable power. Then we have the Millennium Eye in the middle. It allows its users to read minds, see through other people's minds, and even see defeated souls. Again, this is like a dual monsters game. It's a shadow game. That's what they call it, not me. So it's like a dark game, and defeated souls go to the shadow realm. The Millennium Ring, straight up at the top, locates the other relics, and it corrupts the bearer using it and wearing it. Its vitality actually contains a little bit of Zork's essence. So that more than the rest of them has way more darkness than the rest, which actually helps Zork a lot. But I don't know what they thought. Y'all use dark sacrificing and unaliving people to make these items. What y'all think? Think darkness is gonna skip out on that? No, he's coming right along. All right, and then we got the scales right over here. They can summon the goddess of truth to judge your heart. And if she finds you guilty, she can seal you in that shadow realm. Those that are deemed guilty, yeah, she can steal your soul. No problem. No problem at all. The Millennium Key, right by me, gives you the ability to explore the depths of someone's soul, i.e. the key. Key unlocks, opens up doors, right? So it opens up your soul, let somebody walk right through and they can explore. They can alter memory and even reveal inner beasts and monsters. The rod right up there and control the minds of monsters as well as humans, as well give you the ability of telepathic abilities. Last but not least, the Millennium Necklace. It grants visions of the future and gives the wearer the ability to interact with the past. For some reason, my photos aren't working, so I'm sorry I can't show you guys the image. You guys can rewind back. It's in that same photo. All right, let me stop there. And tomorrow, I'm going to be back on part 4. We can bring this all together. Because no way, y'all. Mr. Takahashi made this up. A lot of this is real. It comes right from the walls of Egypt in the pyramid. But I just feel like somebody done told him something that he wasn't supposed to know, or I don't know. Because I feel like he was unalived. But we'll get to that tomorrow. All right, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. If you like content like this, supernatural, paranormal, cryptic, engage from the bottom up. That's like, comment, subscribe, all that. I'm Cube of Lore. This is Forbidden Lore Season 2. And as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to check back with y'all at the next part. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'm going to call y'all back later. Just make sure you be careful. Be careful. Be careful? Hey, was Yu-Gi-Oh! Based on a real story? Welcome back, y'all. This is part 4 on my Yu-Gi-Oh! Think piece. So if you didn't go watch my last 3 parts, go on and head over to Forbidden Lore Season 2 and go catch up. For those of you that are caught up, let's just quickly recap what we went over so far. Kazuki Takahashi, creator of Yu-Gi-Oh!, went to Egypt to do research for his new anime. Not sure what happened when he went there, what came of this trip, but he came back bigger and better. Came back with this masterpiece of a story, which turned into a game. The show and the game swept the country. And of course, the companies got really greedy, so they wanted to get that money. So they went to overtime and making these cards and making it kind of like real life. But this story has a dark undertone that I feel like might be true, guys. So the story starts off with light, Horititi, I think her name is, and darkness, Zork, which she ended up splitting herself up into 3 parts. 3 god cards, Obelisk the Tormentor, Slifer the Sky Dragon, and the Winged Dragon of Ra. And them and all their hundreds of thousands of children, baby dragons, was running the game, running the show at this point. Till a group of humanoid mages started using magic, especially this one, Exodia the Forbidden. No pun and content on the name of my content in my show. It's not, that has nothing to do with each other. So Exodia goes and take the bright idea to seal 1,000 dragons in one night, clearly showing he's powerful, too powerful. So they seal him in chains and behind a spellbinding circle in the 5 tablets. Turns into 5 cards in the future. So he's never to be released ever again. He's supposed to be one of the strongest creatures in the game. So everything was cool for a little bit. Cool for some time after they handled him. Fast forward to the times of the pharaoh, King Akhenaten to be exact. Zork done taught all his followers how to do magic, dark magic, and summon creatures from his shadow realm. The king wasn't going for it. He wasn't just going down without a fight. So they come up with this grand idea to create the Millennium Puzzles. But in order to create them, you have to unalive families, fathers, mothers, children. And they did it. And they gave them to these bearers. In my last video, I told you guys exactly what they are, what each of them do, but I'm just gonna move on. So the Millennium Items are broken up into 7 pieces, 7 relics for 7 nobles that come from noble lineage. So this one is Seto's father, I believe. This one is Yugi's father right here. That's Yugi's grandfather's ancestor right there in the corner. They look exactly alike. So this show had a lot of symbolism. Summoning, Shadow Realm, reincarnation. Kazuki couldn't make all this up. Maybe he read a tablet, someone told him a story. Maybe he had a dream. I don't know, but this is not fake, y'all. All right, gang, follow me to part 5 before my video gets too long. I'm Cube of the Lore. This is Forbidden Lore Season 2. Don't forget to engage from the bottom up. And of course, follow me because I know you didn't do that yet. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll be right back with the next part. Was Yu-Gi-Oh based on a true story? Welcome to part 5, y'all, where I'm debunking, breaking down Yu-Gi-Oh, because something don't seem right. This seems a little bit more realistic than not. Based on everything we've learned and know about the world today, this might have been possible. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste no time. Okay, we picked 7 keepers from 7 different lines and noble lineage. I would just like to add on 7 chakras. Don't forget that, y'all. The body has 7 chakras. So by releasing these relics, they have released a fragment of Zork. I mean, that's for obvious reasons. I don't know what they thought was gonna happen. All dark magic has like a consequence. Magic comes at a cost, and they paid a big one. Let's not forget, they unalived people to make those relics and those items. Yes, they needed to protect themselves, but no, they didn't go about it the right way. Of course, that's nefarious energy, dark intent. So of course, Zork is outside. Why wouldn't y'all think he would be attached to that? Don't forget, Zork lives in the Shadow Realm. That's his own realm. He's very powerful. So it's almost like virtually impossible for him to fully cross over. Unless somebody lets him possess their body, they have to be of strong spiritual strength and magical powers to even hold him. So Zork took possession of a child, Bakura. So before I confuse y'all, I'm talking about the dark skinned one, the black one. The white one comes long after in the future. We'll get to him. He's way more nice, way more passive. This one is an asshole, but for very good reason. So Child Bakura got possessed because he was one of the children that witnessed his family being unalived by Akhenaten and his soldiers to create those pieces. So he possesses the child and takes the Millennium Ring, which he's attached to. Because again, Zork can't do much if he doesn't have a physical, body on the plane. So basically, he used this little boy's anger and his power that he already had inside of him. He exploited the boy's reason to get his lick back. So Zork, being an embodiment of darkness and hatred, it was easy peasy to jump in his body. Seto, the pharaoh's nephew, was living amongst the slaves at this point in time. He was abandoned by his father. And I'm not even sure he knows he's like part of the royal family at this point. He was mostly a fugitive, but one day he saw this girl in a slave caravan. This is Kasera that I told you guys about. Kasera had white hair and blue eyes. Seto could feel the magic emanating from her body. At this point, he doesn't know he's a young mage, but he has his own abilities as well. All right, before the video gets too long, y'all follow me to the next part. It'll be part 6. I'm Cube of Lore. This is Forbidden Lore, Season 2. If you like content like this, don't forget to engage from the bottom up. Y'all know, like, comment, subscribe. Y'all already know all of that. And of course, follow me because I know you watching this video and you didn't do it yet. I know you didn't do it yet. And as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next part. Be careful out here, y'all. Was Yu-Gi-Oh based on a true story? Welcome to part 6, guys, on us breaking down and debunking Yu-Gi-Oh. As you guys can see, these are the 7 Millennium items that were turned into cards as well. Symbolism. So everything from Egypt and from that time was able to be turned into cards in modern day to play a game. A shadow game at that. So where I left off, Seto saved Kasera, whatever her name is. The slave catcher was right behind them. Seto had to give Kasera his horse because them people was right behind him, allowing himself to get caught and allowing her to get away scot-free. But before she took off, she let him know, I got you. I'm gonna repay this debt. She didn't like owing nobody. So she said she got him. I mean, Seto didn't really pay no mind. He's like thinking never gonna see this girl again. And he's caught up in slavery again. Seto returns to his village to only find it up in flames from the exact slave traders that he just pissed off, and he made them lose a lot of money because they was probably gonna go sell her. That's when the blue eyes white dragon appeared and saved him. At that moment, now he's realizing Kasera and the dragon are connected. Oh shit. So now fast forward, everybody has the ability to call these creatures and these monsters from the Shadow Realm. Well, not only the Shadow Realm, there's another realm where I don't even know what it's called. That Dark Magician, Magician Girl, they all live. So let me know in the comments if you guys know exactly where that's called. But anyways, wherever they are in that spiritual world, that's where they can call them from. Using the Millennium Items, they can call upon stronger creatures and entities. So they were basically unmatched and untouched. They were damn near the Power Rangers. So the only creature that wasn't allowed to be touched was Exodia, and he's kept for the pharaohs. And also they're just afraid of him falling in the hands of evil because it would go down if it did happen. So they try to keep him out of it. But everybody's accumulating so many creatures. This is Mahad behind me, by the way, and he had the Dark Magician. They created a game out of it. So they use these stone tablets, summon their creatures from it to battle as a game, a duelist game. And then they go right back into their, stone tablets. My thing was like, why did it become a game? Why did y'all feel like playing with magic and the spiritual world was a game? At first it started as protection for them, then it turned into a game. That's crazy. I could have told them this wasn't gonna go good at all. This wasn't gonna go well for them. Not to mention, at this point, don't forget, people have their own inner beasts, inner creatures, inner monsters. So they don't even have to call any from that other realm. They can create their own and feed it and grow it, just like Kasara and the Blue Eyes. All right, y'all, my video is getting too long, but when I come back for part 7, Seto is now a priest, which we know that is common in Egyptian culture, which is very interesting, because we know the priests were practicing magic too. So I'm gonna let you guys know all about that in part 7. But do you guys see how everything is connecting? None of this is far-fetched. From summoning creatures, demons, and entities, from the power of dark and light, not to mention Takahashi emphasized on the power of friendship. We really wanted that to be known throughout this show, which we know there's power in real loyalty, real friendship. So I really believe somebody either told him the story, they showed him some artifacts, but this is so far from regular Japanese anime, but still on point, but still different enough, but still amazing enough to be anime, if y'all get what I'm saying. And we know the best TV shows, movies come from real life experiences. We knew they were practicing magic in Egypt. We all know that now. Pharaohs, Atem, Akhenaten, that's all real. We know relics and artifacts are real. We just don't know where they're all at or what they all do. But we also know they believed in different gods, creatures, entities from the other world. Very interesting. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is all allegedly and hypothetically speaking. Meet me in the next part, guys, because this story is about to get weird. I'm Cube of the Lore. This is Forbidden Lore Season 2, and I'm going to call y'all back later. But make sure y'all be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Was Yu-Gi-Oh! Based on a true story? Welcome back, guys. This is part 7 on was Yu-Gi-Oh! Based on a true story. So let's get right into it. Seto decides to become a priest. And in those times, guys, priests were basically magicians. They practiced magic, they studied it, as well as they taught it. At this time, he still doesn't know he's part of the royal lineage. His uncle was the pharaoh, Akhenaten, and the next pharaoh, Atem, was his first cousin. But of course he didn't know about it. But his dad was there throughout it all. He knew, and he had his own agenda for his son. He had plans to betray his family so his son could become king. As you guys can see, Seto is the wielder of the Millennium Rod. During Seto's journey to find the strongest monsters and the beasts so he can control them, the upcoming war, he runs into Kasara again, having to save her again. So now at this point, it's fate, it's destined. And she releases her magic again with the power of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. If you guys don't remember, she has a dragon that lives inside of her. But now Seto's real father, that's on the same court as him, and he wields the Millennium Eye. He saw Kasara's power. He's like, nah, we need to seal that dragon. We need that dragon on our team. But Kasara and the dragon were one at this point. It was impossible to separate them. So turning her into a weapon was almost virtually impossible. We know in real life, people are possessed with all type of creatures, entities, demons inside of them. So this isn't far off. And we definitely know there were priests that used magic. And not only Egypt, around the world, Mesopotamia, everywhere. So none of this story is far-fetched. All of it is possible. Do your research. So Seto's father seen he was way more capable for the job than little Atem. They thought Atem was scary and weak, to be honest. All of them thought that. They were all like, nice kid, but he ain't gonna make the cut. So while the dad is trying to take the dragon out of Kasara, she actually connects to the future Seto, showing her powers are boundless and she never knew how to control them. And if she did, it'd be a wrap for all of y'all. So this is future Seto, of course with the blue eyes behind him, and this is priest Seto, a little bit darker, with his tablet and his blue eyes as well. That is Kasara at the time. So his full future reincarnation. Which, come on, we know reincarnation is real. So Zork was summoned by Seto's father. He said, in exchange, if you can make my son Pharaoh, I'll give you whatever you want. And of course, Zork wants to be fully manifested. So all he wants is a body. So of course he's gonna jump in yours, sir. Now he is fully realized and fully awakened and fully manifested, not in the shadow realm where he reigns. He steals the blue eyes from Kasara, places it in a tablet, and tries to unalive Seto. But Kasara saves him and she's unalived. With the dragon have nowhere to return to, it went back into the tablet, just stayed for the rest of the time period and in the future, because the tablets turned into cards, which people started playing games with, shadow games. All right, y'all, before this video gets too long, I'm gonna end part 7 here. Let me know if y'all want a part 8 in the comments. What else y'all think about this? Because more and more I go back and look at this story, I believe this all happened, y'all. I'm Cube of Lore. This is Forbidden Lore Season 2. And as always, it's for entertainment purposes only. It's all allegedly, hypothetically speaking. All right, give me a call back. Let me know what y'all think. And always, be careful. Be careful. Be careful. This is part 8. Was Yu-Gi-Oh based on a true story? So where I left off was Kasara was actually unalived by Seto's father because he wanted her power. And she sacrificed herself to save Seto. So ultimately, she got sealed with the blue eyes in the tablet. The stone tablet. But ultimately, she's forever bonded and connected with Seto. I thought it was crazy to find out Seto and the blue eyes been in love before, in love in the past, and that's where their connection comes from. But this story is all about friendship, and a lot of the stories is like this too. Even the story about Gilgamesh. So I'm trying to figure out, is there really a power in friendship? Very interesting. So in the future, priests actually use their powers and separate her from the blue eyes. Then she becomes a maiden with eyes of blue. You guys can see her whole card here. She has abilities as well. Around the same time, Atem's father, Akhenaten, realized he made a grave mistake by making those Millennium Items. Seeing where playing God gets you. So he prays to the gods, repents, and gets swallowed up right by the gods in front of Atem. So now within 5 seconds, Atem is Pharaoh. Pharaoh of Egypt at that. Very similar to King Tut. They're around the same age, and King Tut only got to rule a few days too. Even their tombs is kind of set up the same. Pay attention, guys, pay attention. So now Atem and his cousin Seto gotta run that fade. Atem is battling him for his loyalty, and he actually wins. Then Hassan shows up. Y'all, there's so many things going on at once in this story. That's why this show is so good. It could be characters over here getting into something, characters over here getting into something else, characters in the future, the past. It's such a great story. So if you haven't watched, please go and watch. So Hassan at the time, who is secretly Shadi, who is like the modern day guardian of the Millennium Items. He actually wields 2 Millennium Items, the Millennium Key and the Millennium Scales. He's like a mysterious ghost figure who tests individuals to see if they're worthy to wield the Millennium Items. He's kind of ruthless, and he has an actual hand in Pegasus as well as Merrick's backstory. We'll get to them. Shadi was actually unalived by Bakura years ago, before the main events of this series. From that point on, he just appeared as a spirit from then on. But this what was throwing me off, y'all. This what was throwing me off. Was they had a third. Barbosa. I don't know what kind of father, son, and spirit thing is going on, but I find it very interesting. Takahashi made one character into 3. There must be a reason for that. So basically, he's like comic relief. Completely opposite from Shadi and Hassan, as you can see in stature and size as well. He serves as a guide to present day Yugi and his friends. I came all the way from the past and traveled through time to get to Egypt to run fades. All right, let me know if you guys want part 9. I'll tell you a little bit more about this trio and moving on in the story. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm Cube of Lore. This is Forbidden Lore Season 2, and this is all for entertainment purposes only. Don't forget to engage and follow me. I'll see y'all in the next part. Part 9 on my Yu-Gi-Oh series, and I'm gonna run this like a speed duel. So we just gonna fly through everything, y'all. So the Millennium Items resembled real-world Egyptian artifacts, and even those are rumored to hold powers. Ancient spiritual powers. Ancient Egyptian believed certain relics could power and channel spirits and even protect the pharaoh in afterlife. So Atem mirrors a lot of aspects of King Tut. Young, very powerful, and connected to divine kingship. On top of it, they both only reigned for a few days. There's not many pharaohs that was young and reigned for only a few days. Atem's father, Akhenaten, is also depicted from a real-life pharaoh, known for radical religious reforms. Sounds a lot like Yugi Atem's father that created these millennium pieces using the spirits and unaliving men, women, and children to get there. Even Ishizu, the wearer of the Millennium Necklace, she has influences from Ishtar to Isis. Ishtar, the goddess of love and war. I talked about her many times on my page already. So you guys go back in my videos and look, but a lot of great information on Ishtar. She's one of those goddesses that stayed in drama. And then after they had Isis, which may be the same woman, may or may not be. This is Egyptian, as you can see. And this is morally Mesopotamian inspired to create the overall character of Ishizu. These fusions hint at Yu-Gi-Oh's broader mystical influences beyond just Egypt. Not to mention Atem making his cousin Seto pharaoh to storing the secret of the pharaoh in his name on Merrick's back. And this is a tradition they did for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years, because it was said the pharaoh was supposed to come back. Very interesting, right? People actually are getting these tattoos all over the world. I kid you not. This is a real thing. It is a real trend that I will not be participating in, but very cool to see for sure. In the ancient cultures, like Egyptian and Mesopotamian, ritual sacrifices was common. Animals, offerings, even humans. So the concept of sacrificing weaker creatures to summon much stronger creatures mirrors their exact concept as well. Power exchange through sacrifices. Yu-Gi-Oh's reoccurring theme was order versus chaos, good versus evil, light versus dark. There's friendship and there's the ops. Neither can exist without each other. And that's what this show has proved. Balance. We always need balance. Much like my series Forbidden Lore, this series had the same. Vampires, werewolves, mermaids, dragons, fairy. These myths weren't just European. Many other cultures, just like the Egyptians and the Mesopotamians, featured a lot of different creatures and entities. There was blood-drinking spirits, shapeshifters, and even sky creatures. Yes, creatures of the sky. Not to mention the Shadow Realm. Think of Shadow Realm as Duat, the Egyptian underworld. And let me know if you guys want to hear a little bit more about it. I'm not going to touch too long on the Egyptian underworld, but y'all get it. Or, like in Stranger Things, the Upside Down. They're all the same place, basically. It's called all different names. There's always a dark dimension, and there's another dimension. As you can see, Yu-Gi-Oh sees the creatures from the spirit world. Those are actually the 3 dragons and Dark Magician Girl that actually happens to be a guide a lot of this series. So it's almost a form of ethereal realm where creatures, entities, deities, creatures of light live. I don't know the name of it, guys, but there is a place. If you guys know where that space is called, leave it in the comments, let me know. So I'm coming back to wrap this all up in part 10, but this is part 9, I believe, of was Yu-Gi-Oh based on a true story? All right, if you like content like this, supernatural, cryptic, paranormal, creepy, even a little weird, go ahead and engage from the bottom up. Y'all know, like, comment, subscribe, all that. And make sure y'all follow me, because I know you didn't do that yet. I'm Cube of Lore. This is Forbidden Lore Season 2. And I'm going to call y'all right back. Make sure y'all be careful. Be careful. Be careful. And as always, it's only for entertainment purposes only. Allegedly, hypothetically speaking. I don't know, guys. Was Yu-Gi-Oh based on a true story? This is part 10, y'all, and my last part of this series. If you guys want to hear more, let me know, but this is my last bit of my breakdown. All right, y'all. So I told y'all in the last part how some of these creatures date back to Mesopotamia. We got right here the fishman, aka a merman, a dogman, or a werewolf, or Rougarou, not sure. We have a dragon up at the top, as you guys can see. And all form of Nephilim hybrid beast and monsters. If y'all want to go take a picture real quick, a screenshot, hold on, let me get out the way and let y'all take a picture. Go ahead. So yeah, and they hunted and fought all these creatures, all these winged beasts. It was going down between them and the deities, yeah. And it's funny, all these Yu-Gi-Oh cards feature almost exact creatures, entities, deities from these cultures. Now finally, let's talk Maximilian Pegasus. I couldn't wait to get here with you guys. So Maximilian Pegasus is very, very interesting and a unique character altogether. He has no past life connection to Millennium pieces or items like everybody else. Well, most of the Millennium wearers and wielders, like Bakura has a little connection, Seto, Ishizu, Merrick is her brother, blood related, so they raised the same exact way. Even Grandpa has a connection, you know, but this man does not. Takahashi modeled Pegasus after Western influences. I think that's why he looked maybe a little bit more American than the others. He was like flamboyant. He liked a more elegant lifestyle. Definitely more Walt Disney inspired. Then he combined that with the Egyptian lore, adding on that Millennium Eye. Just like Takahashi, Pegasus traveled to Egypt and studies artifacts, history, and the culture, and then steals the shadow game for himself and for his own gain. Game catapult and skyrocket and took Seto to the next level. Turned into millionaire, billionaire overnight type of vibe. Very similar to Takahashi and this Yu-Gi-Oh series. Took over overnight basically. Takahashi didn't just invent the game. He did exactly what Pegasus did. He studied Egyptian history and mythology, blending it with themes of reincarnation, forbidden knowledge, and spiritual warfare. The result? A modern pop culture giant rooted in ancient beliefs, shadowed by mystery, sacrifice, and the eternal struggle between darkness and light. So, just a fun fact. Did you know there's like a Yu-Gi-Oh challenge? All the fans, if you go to Egypt, you have to get the God card. They could be real or fake. No one cares at this point. No one cares. And take a photo. I'm definitely planning on doing it. I think I'm probably just going to get the debit card. I think the Taka has the Yu-Gi-Oh debit cards as the 3 God cards. This is a vibe. This is an aesthetic. All right, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment. If you like content like this, supernatural, paranormal, cryptic, even a little creepy, go ahead and engage from the bottom up. Y'all know that's like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know all that. And don't forget to follow me, because I know you didn't do that yet. Go ahead, follow. I'm still waiting. All of this is allegedly and hypothetically speaking, of course. It's all entertainment purposes only. All right, I'll see y'all in the next video, because I have a lot to tell y'all about a few of these shows. Power Ranger, Digimon, Pokemon, Naruto, even Castlevania Nocturnal that just came out. All right, I'm gonna call y'all back later. This shit is about to get weird. And always, be careful, be careful, be careful.